Hello everybody and welcome back to the Xcess podcast here on YouTube. Alright, we're going to be discussing the 2014 Royal Rumble and the plenty of Outlash that has happened since the pay-per-view went off the air. And is actually still going on right now. Hopefully my phone won't go off with text messages and stuff like that and alerts about people in my interactions on Twitter tweeting me and stuff. Hopefully. So, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Boy, oh boy. This is gonna be fun to talk about. Okay, so, everybody going into this expected Daniel Bryan to be a surprise entrant, including myself, to enter at number 30 or one of the lower 5 numbers. And he didn't. The Royal Rumble ended up being won by Batista at number 28, which he won from in 2005, so I guess that's Batista's lucky number. And Roman Reigns broke the record set by Kane in 2001 for the most eliminations in a single Rumble. Roman Reigns tied it originally at 11, and he eliminated Sheamus to get number 12. So congratulations, Roman Reigns. WWE gave him the ball and he definitely ran with it in this Rumble match. Big things in store for him this year. Man, oh man. The complaints after Daniel Bryan did not come out at number 30 and Rey Mysterio did. That crowd. Oh man. And even Twitter, social media in general. It was insane. And that was only the beginning of what was worse to come. So Batista wins the Rumble, and, does the signature thing where he points at the WrestleMania sign, pyro goes off, celebrates at the top rope, and apparently post-match, before we get to other stuff, apparently, and there have been some pictures now that have been leaking about this, that Batista, mocked the yes chants with towards the crowd, and then he flipped off some fans. Some, just at the top rope, hey, screw you guys, and then a couple of fans he actually went up to and flipped off. That's in poor taste, but, Batista has a reputation for not really caring about stuff, he does what he's told, or what's planned, and then he rolls with it. He doesn't really care about the outlash that would happen, and there was plenty of outlash, trust me. It's still actually happening about 2 hours later. But Rey Mysterio came out at number 30. The fans obviously were pissed off. They did not want to see Rey. They were happy when he was eliminated. They wanted Roman Reigns to win, but of course, Batista won instead. And, Twitter, especially, because that's what I really paid attention to, Twitter exploded with rage. Absolutely exploded. I'm even surprised Twitter, managed to stay online at that point. This is the most outlash I think I've ever seen in the few years I've been on the internet as a wrestling fan that I've seen after a pay-per-view. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, before you go and say, oh, you're defending Bryan not getting his shot, WWE sucks, why would you defend them? Listen, I don't like what they're doing with Daniel Bryan. Trust me, I absolutely don't. I would like to see him be the main event at WrestleMania instead of Batista. I'd like to see him win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. And I'd like to see him yes chant with over 70,000 people. But WWE did what will get them more money. You gotta remember, WWE is a business. And whether the fans like it or not, they'll do what they need to do to get more money. A lot of people are interested in Batista. He popped one of the biggest ratings Raw has had in a while when he returned on the 20th. People were interested when The Rock came back. People were interested when Brock came back. WWE brings in these part-timers, although Batista is apparently around for 2 years, but that's another story. WWE brings in these part-timers because they know the audience will watch. They know they'll tune in to see what's gonna happen. Sure, it's predictable. Everybody predicted The Rock would end up becoming WWE champion, and then headline WrestleMania with Cena for twice in a lifetime. But WWE knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And other companies know what they're doing when they have their plans out. They have a long-term plan for this. And plus, everybody's complaining and the Elimination Chamber is still a month away. Anything can happen between now and WrestleMania, especially at the Elimination Chamber. Everybody thinks that the leaked WrestleMania card, the top 5 matches for WrestleMania, it was leaked going in earlier this week, going into the weekend, that WWE had plans for 5 certain matches at WrestleMania. And everybody was pissed off about it. 2 of those matches are likely to happen from that list. Likely. But there's still 70 days, well, technically 69 now, until WrestleMania. And anything can happen. Especially the Elimination Chamber. They don't have 2 titles anymore. It's 1 championship. The Royal Rumble gives us the number 1 contender. So the Chamber's gonna give us a championship match. Orton, Cena, Punk, Bryan, and 2 other people. Kane, probably. Kane and, let's just go with Bray Wyatt for continuity's sake with John Cena. Let's say those 6 are in the chamber for the WWE Championship, World Heavyweight Championship. Or, no, actually, instead of, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar. Because, obviously, they're gonna be in his home state, so... Okay, so those 6 guys are in the chamber match. Any one of them could damn well win and headline WrestleMania. And it's not like WWE hasn't done this before. They've done title changes a month and a half or so before WrestleMania. And they've made it work. Chris Jericho won the World Heavyweight Championship in the Elimination Chamber one year. He went on to have a great match with Edge. Same thing can happen. Daniel Bryan could win the Chamber match instead of Randy Orton. John Cena could win it instead of Orton, although fans probably wouldn't want to see Randy Orton versus Batista, neither Cena versus Batista. Brock Lesnar could win the Chamber match. I'd actually like to see Brock Lesnar versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't recall them ever facing off the top of my head, but imagine that match? Especially since both of them technically aren't the safest workers to compete with. They can go all out and beat the crap out of each other. That'd be entertaining. But I mean, even CM Punk could win it and face Batista. It doesn't matter, but WWE has 69 days to change what people think is locked and loaded for WrestleMania. Anything can happen. I understand why people are mad, okay? But all the rage I've seen just because Bryan was not in the Rumble, did not win, and is not headlining WrestleMania is ridiculous. WWE knows what they're doing. Quite frankly, the Outlash that I've seen in my interactions on Twitter, I'm quite frankly surprised that there wasn't as many death threats. I kind of expected death threats over my opinion, because I chose not to complain. I was one of a few select people on Twitter not to complain about Bryan not being in the Rumble, not winning, headlining WrestleMania. Select few. And some of the people that complained weren't as bad as a majority of people. And everybody has the right to complain if they don't enjoy what's happening. That's fine, you can complain. But the stuff I've seen, some of it's even more ridiculous than it usually is. And I was even told on my Twitter during all this outlash from somebody, because I chose not to complain. Because I chose not to complain like a majority of the internet. I was told, and quote, "Grow up and stop smoking weed." Really? I've never smoking drugs, I've never smoking weed, done cocaine, do any of the millions of drugs that seem to be out there nowadays. I've never done any of those. I can't really say I'm straight edge because I've actually had a couple of beers when I turned 21, and I even had one on New Year's Eve, but I've only drinking some, at the most I think I've drinking 5 beers since I turned 21 in November. I don't smoke anything, though. I don't even smoke cigarettes. Grow up? Grow up because I chose not to complain? Okay. I don't tell people to grow up when they complain, so why would I need to grow up when I didn't complain? Wouldn't you tell somebody who's complaining and overreacting to grow up, not somebody who isn't complaining? That's a bit twisted. But anyways, there's still 69 days to go before WrestleMania. In the end, WWE has a set plan. Whether or not Bryan has a high-profile match or not is up to them. Quite frankly, I'd rather see him challenge The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania than I'd see him in a World Heavyweight Championship match. There are many opportunities to win the World Heavyweight Championship. In fact, he's been a 2-time World Champion now. Technically 3 if we also count the World Heavyweight Championship. Facing The Undertaker? That would be once in a lifetime. Taker doesn't have many years left. And for Bryan to wrestle against one of the greatest legends in the business, I'd much rather see that. You can win many championships in your career, but facing The Undertaker on the grandest stage of all? Now that would be awesome. And I really hope it happens. So, anyways, that is going to do it for the Xcess podcast. You can complain in the comments below. You can keep complaining online. I'm not going to stop you. The thing is, though, don't give up hope. I'd say until Daniel Bryan ends up being released or retires, but that's a little bit extreme for this situation. Just don't give up hope. Daniel Bryan isn't. Why should you? Thank you for listening to the Xcess podcast here on YouTube. I've been James Rolls. Sound off in the comments below. You can be positive or negative. Although if you do leave death threats, I'm blocking you. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.